Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you've been having fun watching the other couple of videos that I've put up. Today is a very simple flow, one to get you breathing and moving. Nothing too complicated. However, if you want to regress or progress or add in your own flavors, of course do that. It's difficult to follow a class online and to stay committed from the beginning all the way through to the end. So feel free to work yourself through it. Maybe start off with just doing 10 minutes. But if you can get the discipline to work all the way to the end, I guarantee you're going to feel amazing. If you need to use blocks, if you'd like to use a strap, feel free to bring them in whenever you want. In the world of yoga, the Ashtanga style doesn't tend to use a lot of props. The Iyengar style uses a lot of props. And so I'm going to leave that with you, however you feel that you support your body and make yourself comfortable. My name is Claire. Lovely to have you. Let's get started. We're going to come straight over into pose of the child. Pose of the child, knees open or closed, whichever you prefer. My head's going down, so just feel free to follow along as best you can. Reach your hands out in front. Let your forehead gently rest on the floor and allow your body to soften and settle. In this position, start to generate a sense of total 360-degree body awareness. So you can feel yourself from your fingertips, through the back of the hands, up the arms. Allow your awareness to wrap itself around the head and down your spine. And it's almost like you're in a bubble. You can feel the side body, the front body. You can feel your shin bones on the floor, all the way back to your toes. And inside that bubble, take a deep breath and feel the sides of your body and the expansiveness of your body on the inhale. On the exhale, feel a sense of softening. So you're creating a sense of awareness of the entire body. So every time you inhale, feel the whole body opening. Of course, it's just the ribs that are moving, but try and give yourself a sense that the entire body is expanding. On the exhale, you feel a sense of release. Ujjayi breathing is often used in a flow style. One breath per movement is often used in a flow style. However, let your body breathe. Let your breath move in and out as best suits you. Take both hands and reach around toward the right side of your mat. So take the right hand to the right and place the left hand on top of the right. So you're doing a beautiful little side stretch. Reach the left hand away and press your tailbone back towards your feet. Now take an inhale and it's like you're being stretched sideways. So rather than a full balloon or a full ball, you're pressing one side of the body so it stretches more. So feel the whole left rib cage, left side waist. On the inhale, expand. Exhale and let the whole body soften. Walk your hands to the other side. Move to the left. Take your right hand on top. And now start to create that very soft and even C-shaped curve. Each section of that curve is being elongated as you breathe in. So there's a sense of continuity, of evenness. And the whole sideline stretches with one beautiful inhale in a balanced way. When you exhale, let your body soften and then walk yourself back. Come to all fours, tabletop position. Spread your hands wide, soften your elbows, knees under your hips. Cat curl with a roll, so an articulation. Tuck your tailbone under and start to roll the spine, bone by bone by bone. You tuck the tail, you start to pull the belly in, and then rib bone by rib bone lifts up toward the ceiling, gently broadening your upper back and let the chin touch your chest. Push the air out. On the inhale, lift the tailbone back upward and you'll start to create a slight downward sensation and see if you can grade it. So downward through the lower back, then downward through the bottom rib. Once again, rib bone by rib bone, gentle extension without force. Finish the inhale as you look forward. In your own time, tuck your tail and exhale. The movement we're looking for is one that is smooth, one that is not forced, and one that balances the breath. So quite often you'll do these movements, you'll run out of breath and you're still moving, or the other way around. you'll finish the movement and still be breathing. So with one last one, see if you can integrate it totally. Tucking the tail, lifting the belly, lifting the ribs, broadening the back, tucking your chin. As you inhale now, walk the hands a little further to come to your first dog. So spread the hands wide, grip with your fingers, squeeze your triceps with soft elbows. Toes are tucked under, tailbone lifts, and press back into a big V shape. But a little bit of a different V because walk through your heels. So give yourself a bit of a stretch in your calf, exhaling as you press and inhaling as you lift. And feel free to stay in stillness or to wiggle and squirm. But we want our dog pose to be really solid. So the way we get solid is by finding the strength that comes from the fingers gripping on the floor. And when you grip your fingers, all the muscles of the forearm will engage more. Soften the elbows, broaden the back, and then lengthen out through tailbone. Maybe come to stillness, so no need to jam your heels to the floor, but just notice where you feel sensation. So the sensation is a nice, comfortable stretch, not one of pain, not one of stress. So I just had a good run this morning, so I feel this in my calves, but you might find you feel things in different places. And that's the unique imprint that your body will have on the yoga pose, or the unique yoga pose that imprints on your body. As you inhale, come forward, pop your knees on the ground, pose of the child, toes tucked as you exhale. So breath and movement. Inhale, come forward, pull yourself through. Exhale, press through the floor and draw back through the tailbone. Inhale, come forward, place your knees on the ground. Exhale, press back, tucking the toes once again to your pose of the child. One more, inhale, come forward. Exhale, lift and press. Take your feet together, lift your right leg in there as you breathe in. Bend the right knee, open the hip, full body yawn. Maybe wiggle the toes, the ankle, the knee. Press down through your floor heel. On your inhale, straighten that leg all the way up. Nice tiger curl, but the tiger curl with a long spine, yeah? So bring the knee to the chest, slightly broaden the upper back, and then inhale again. Press that leg all the way up, step it through your hands. So as you step that foot through your hands, keep pulling yourself through. So bend into a lunge, look forward as you inhale, pyramid pose as you exhale. So lift the tailbone, lift the ball of the front foot, tuck the chin. Come forward as you inhale and drop the back knee to the ground. Exhale and just draw yourself through. As you breathe in, lift the arms really high and exhale, bring the elbows to your waist. Good. Inhale, lift up. So make that beautiful strong line. Exhale, press forward. You've got a lot of press down through the front foot, yeah? One more inhale as you lift. This time, take the hands behind the back. Hold hands with yourself. Push the fist down. Open the chest without popping your ribs. So the belly is on. Be strong here as you breathe in. Push down to your fists and squeeze the shoulder blades together as you exhale. On your inhale, reach your arms up, maybe a back bend if that feels comfy. Swing your hands around as you exhale. Lift the back knee, lift your right arm and have a big twist on your breath in. Dog pose as you exhale. Once again, either sit in stillness or march through your feet. Reset your sense of strength though, whichever you choose. So kind of notice, where do you sit? Where do you step into? And it takes a bit of practice in yoga to find that in one movement, you've stepped into a strong and aligned position. Before that happens though, feel free to wiggle, adjust and squirm. For me, it's always been about lifting the tailbone and trying to get a flatter lower spine. For other people, it's more about the shoulders and, they really need to get the sense of being open across the chest. Bring your feet together and lift your left leg in there as you inhale, nice and high. Bend that left knee, open the hip and take a couple of breaths so you're letting that dog feel really expansive. That sense we had in the beginning of expanding the whole body, same thing now. You may be working your toes or your knees or your ankles if you like. Straighten that leg up super high as you inhale, tiger curl with a neutral spine. So shoulders stop over wrists, knee is into the chest, head stays lifted. heel is into your tailbone. Shoot it back up as you breathe in. Step it to a lunge as you exhale. Bring the foot all the way through. One big lunge rock, so drag yourself through. Keep the back leg strong as you inhale. Exhale, lift. Press to your pyramid pose. Ball of the front foot lifts. Tuck your chin. Inhale, come forward. Drop the knee to the ground and exhale. On your inhale, reach your arms all the way up. So you see my thighs vertical, and then as I exhale, you can dive into that lunge with the elbows back. 2 more. Inhale, reach up high, belly is on, even as you come forward. So the hinge is at this hip flexor. 1 more. Big breath in as you lift. Exhale, come forward and take the hands behind the back. So you're going to punch the fist down like you did on the other side. As I punch the fist down, I'm drawing my shoulders away from my ears. At the same time, the top of that shoulder joint moves to the back of your body. Shoulder blades squeeze. Strong through the legs, yes? So press through your feet for control. Exhale. Take 1 breath in. Reach your arms up. Exhale, spin your hands around. Lift the back knee, lift your left arm and take a big, beautiful breath in to a nice twist. Hands to the floor, dog pose as you exhale. From this dog pose, come to a nice high push-up. Pop your knees on the ground. Carry yourself down, so squeeze the elbows, pull and lift the core. Take your time. And when you get to the base, drag your hands, arms around your armpits, a little cobra. So cobra's about pulling the shoulders away, just like we were doing in our lunge, pulling the elbows together, dragging your hands backward, and trying to get your collarbones forward. At the same time, the belly is lifting, so you get a sense of strength. So the strength will be upper back, diagonal line through to the core, and you can have the glutes on or off in this one, so maybe squeeze your butt if you want to. You don't have to. Just keep the breath flowing. Feel the upper back being engaged. On your exhale, gently fold forward. 2 times with a cobra, so to get the flow. Inhale, hands back, elbows in, shoulders squeezed. Exhale, release. 1 more. Inhale, hands back, elbows in, shoulders squeezed back and down. Then as you exhale, be strong as you push yourself up. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. You're back in that beautiful dog pose. Maybe now you're starting to feel some warmth come into your body, which would be good. Remember, open yourself up to modifying whenever you need to, taking rest whenever you need to. Feet together. Right leg in there, super high as you inhale. Step it straight through again. Lunge rock, so drag yourself through into a nice deep lunge. Back leg is strong. Exhale, lift your hips, rock back and gently tuck your chin. This time when you come forward, keep the back knee off the floor and sweep up into a crescent lunge. As you exhale, just 1 time, pull the elbows down. And then as you inhale, lift, take the hands behind your back. So you can modify by popping your knees on the ground if you want. Take an inhale, so open the shoulder blades as you breathe in. Go deep into that lunge as you exhale. Sweep your arms up as you inhale. Straddle your foot as you exhale with your hands. You're in a nice long lunge. Once again, lift your right arm up, take a big twist. Exhale, step back into your dog pose. From your dog pose, come to a high push-up as you inhale. Knees or toes, low push-up or the floor. I'm going to come to a cobra. It's your choice for up dog. So pull the hands back and squeeze the shoulder blades and core is on. Exhale, really strongly press up and back to dog pose. Take a deep breath. Just notice if you can keep a fluid breath. Notice the length of the breath. And sometimes with these moves, you find that you hold your breath a moment as you step your foot, or you hold your breath as you're holding the pose. And the idea is to eventually have a very fluid, steady and stable breath, one without any shaking or unevenness. Take your left leg in the air on your inhale, lift it up nice and high. As you exhale, step to that long lunge. Come to your fingertips and deepen the lunge as you breathe in. Claw yourself through, look forward. Pyramid pose as you exhale. This time, once again, come forward and keep the back knee off the floor. Lift your arms up really high as you breathe into that lunge. Draw the elbows and sink into that front leg as you exhale. This back leg is strong. There should be no stress in the back. Bring the hands behind the back again. So bend the back knee. So remember, modify as you need to. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, sink down. Good. Reach the arms up as you breathe in. Straddle your front foot as you exhale with your hands. Left arm sweeps up with a big twist. Breath in. Dog pose as you exhale. Inhale, high push-up. So low push-up on the floor. Carry yourself down. If you're into up dog, there's a pause at the bottom. Pull yourself forward as you inhale. So remember, shoulder blades are together. Core is on. Exhale, lift your hips. Press back. Right leg in the air. Take a big inhale. Step it through as you exhale. Lunge deeply as you inhale. Exhale, rock back. Crescent lunge. Push down to your feet, like strong in your feet as you lift your arms. Exhale, make that same big cactus shape with your arms. Inhale, lift. Hands behind your back. Lunge as you exhale. Once again, take a big breath. We've got a variation. So exhale and sink. Reach your arms up. Take a big breath. Now stay tall and twist toward your front knee. So instead of being on the ground, you're now high. Take your back hand, touch your back thigh, lift your front arm, take an inhale, then put your left hand on the floor, lift up your right arm with a big breath in and hold. So some variations here. You can have the back knee down as you breathe. You can challenge yourself by taking your left hand, placing it on your right ankle. And think about having the pelvis fairly steady, back thigh muscle engaged, and elongate your front body. So it's just the ribs that we rotate without stressing your back. As you exhale, place your hand down. Spread the back foot into a warrior position. Lift yourself up as you inhale. You're in warrior 2 as you exhale. Take your back hand down, lift your front arm, stretch up and feel that beautiful side stretch, side angle, Badakanasana. So either elbow to front thigh and sweep your top arm forward or up. Feel free to once again place your hand on your ankle and just take 3 steady breaths. So the steadiness from your feet goes up through the legs. The steadiness from the core allows the breath to be steady. On your inhale, reverse all the way back. On your exhale, plant your hands. Lift your right leg back up in the air as you breathe in, nice and high. Exhale, high push-up, low push-up. Feel free to do the Cobra. Feel free to do up dog. Do what one works for you that makes your body feel good. Exhale back into your dog pose. Take a couple of breaths. So dog pose is like our special place that we come to assess the changes that have happened and are happening in your body. So it's kind of like your restorative position. And when you say that to people that haven't done a lot of yoga, they find that hard because dog pose is definitely challenging and working. But eventually you want it to be home-based, the position where you feel comfortable, where you feel steady, and you can get the breath back to being smooth. Let's do the left side. So inhale, lift the left leg up nice and high. Look through your hands and make a giant lunge. Claw yourself through, so deepen the lunge. Back leg is strong, open the chest. Exhale, lift your tailbone, tuck your chin, front leg stretch in the hamstring. Crescent lunge, so push through your feet, lift your arms all the way up as you breathe in. Then exhale, sink down nice and low. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, bind the hands behind your back again. Good, so open the front body as you inhale, squeeze the back thigh, exhale, no stress in your lower back. Little change, so reach your arms up. This time twist towards your left leg, stay tall, so vertical spine. Back hand drops, front arm lifts just vertically as you inhale. It's your lunge twist. So right hand on the floor on the inside of your foot. Lift your left arm as you inhale and hold for 3 or 4 breaths. This is where you can modify back knee down, front hand on your ankle, And you're going for this beautiful long spine. So we've got the twist from the ribs, but not the belly. So draw your abs in. It's almost like you're spinning the belly button away from the twist to stabilize. As you exhale, bring the hand down, spin the back heel, warrior two. So you've got the big breath in to lift. Exhale. So remember that warrior, it's that front knee that most of us need to keep wide. It's the back leg that most of us need to stretch. Back hand down, front arm vertical as you inhale. Exhale, side angle. So either elbow rests on thigh, hand to ankle, any journey you want with the arm, so sometimes it's nice to make a great big rainbow and reach across. Other times it's nice to sweep it down and feel it wrap. And so this is where you get to explore transitions of movement and also learn little modifications. Sometimes the body doesn't want to work a certain way. And once again, you're holding it here for that steady breath. So eye gaze can be down, the drishti to the big toe. Eye gaze can be top hand. Eye gaze can be armpit. And so you have that constant steady drishti to help you have a constant steady breath. Exhale fully. On your inhale, lift up and go back. Hands touch the floor as you exhale. Pause, lift the back heel. Left leg, lift it super high in there as you breathe in. High push-up, low push-up. Or the floor. Cobra or up dog. Pull yourself through at the base if you're doing up dog. Squeeze strongly through the upper back. It's a pull. Lift your hips. Exhale, press back. Once again, reset. Fingers are gripping. Lots of weight on the thumb and second finger. That's your radius bone. That's the loaded part of the forearm. The little finger side connects to another bone called the ulna. It's not weight bearing, the same. So if anything, you've got slightly more load on the thumb and second finger. Then you kind of take your awareness up to your arms. So the elbows, for some of us, need to be softened. For some of you, need to make them a little straighter. It's like, how does your joint sit? The variations of our skeletal structure are quite marked. So you want to learn to feel the way your body works. And then just gently as you exhale, maybe start to press one heel a little bit more into the floor if you wish to. And just notice what it is with your body. So if you're really loose and everything touches the ground, you probably want to pull away and create strength in the position. As you inhale, once again, lift your right leg up super high. Exhale, step it through. Stay here this time. So stay nice and deep and just pull yourself into a deep, deep lunge. Just feel that beautiful lunge. So we've done some standing lunges. We've done kneeling lunge. Now we're just going to hold this lunge. Maybe wiggle that back leg back a little bit. In our lunge, we've got that back kneecap facing the floor. We're trying not to twist our hip too much. So you pull that right thigh bone backward and then pull that knee in toward the midline of the body. Take a breath in here. Exhale, pyramid pose to hold. So you might like to step the back foot up the mat, or you might like to bring the front foot down toward the middle of the mat. This is where blocks can be useful. We're going to stay for 3 or so breaths. So just really feel that amazing sense of relaxation and lengthening. So the first task of our physical practice is just to be aware of the sensations, like to be able to categorize them. So not all sensations are the same. Not all sensations are useful. So you assess your practice by your sensation, not by the shape, not by the extreme shape, but how does it feel? So right now you want to get a sense in the middle of the belly of the thigh. Not at the back of the knee. That's the tendon. Bend your front leg and lift your back leg in the air into a supported standing split, just as much and as high as it wants to go. So lift that leg up. Maybe take your hands and place 1 or 2 around your ankle. If you've been coming for a while, if you've got a good yoga practice, keep your hands in the air as we come into a seated twist. So start to bend your front leg like you're doing a single leg squat. Swing your left leg all the way behind you, and you'll be able to end up with that back airborne knee right beside your little toe, and you'll be sitting in Ardha Matsyendrasana. So wiggle yourself so you've got both sit bones on the ground. So twisting again, we've done a few twists, yeah? So pull that knee into your chest, elongate your spine, take that hand behind, take a breath in, and then exhale. So feel free to do any kind of binding that you want here. It's always nice though to keep that shoulder back rather than hunching it forward, but of course that choice is yours. Back arm is for support. Take a big breath in. Exhale, there's a lovely rotation. Hopefully you're feeling good by now. And then spin back to the front. Place your hands in front of you as you inhale, rock forward. Lift up with your left leg nice and high. Exhale, feet at the front of your mat. So it's our first Uttanasana, yeah? So feet hip width apart, knees soft. Trying to roll the tailbone, so you're trying to like turn a big wheel. So the idea that the spine is like a waterfall and there's no stress in it. So some of us, you want to engage your core and pull it in, lengthen the neck, let everything go, close your eyes. Hands can be folded under your feet, what feels good for you. But just notice if you're carrying any extra stress or tension, and this can be a good visualization just to let it fall out of your body. So what stress are you hanging on to that is really not the good thing for your body physically or mentally? So just let it go. Right here, right now. It's very simple. Forward bend and a breath. Maybe that Ujjayi breath is the auditory cue that works for you, the idea that you can gently hear the breath. We breathe from the depth of the throat, in and out of the nose. Gently release your hands. Walk your feet till they touch and take a deep squat into a chair pose. So tail goes low, shoulders go back. Inhale, arms wherever you want. Exhale and sink. Maybe bring your arms a little higher. I'm just going to have mine around here today. And sink down nice and low and think about having your muscles engaged. So I let my knees track forward of my toes because that's a really healthy thing for the ankle. A lot of people have their own way for chair. But, you know, the idea that we have a hinge at the ankle, the knee and the hip, we want to balance the mobility and the strength. If you've got knees that are fine, in fact, even if your knees are a little bit stressed, there's nothing wrong with bringing your knees forward as long as there's no pain in that movement. But chair pose is great. It's got so many names. I like chair because chair's a nice simple name. I'm not a fan of fire pose because really it's not fire, it's just work. Inhale, stand really tall. As you exhale, fold all the way to the floor. Take a little halfway lift and step your left leg back. Yeah, so we've still got the right leg forward. Drop the back knee to the floor again. Good. So we're back in our lunge. And then rock back. So we did this standing pyramid. Now you're in a half split. So once again, this can be really useful to have blocks on either side to give yourself some support. And I like to kind of pull my chest through. So I've still got that sense of shoulders away. There's softening in the knee. Something you can do to assist that hamstring is to imagine you're diving that front heel down and clawing it towards you. So the concept that you're pulling that heel back makes that muscle stay on as you're stretching it. As you inhale, look forward. Maybe fold a little deeper. As you exhale, the choice is yours. And take a couple of deep breaths in that position. Allowing the muscle to soften. Allowing the breath to become steady and just allowing the whole body to feel much more comfortable. When you inhale, come forward, bend that knee, lift and step to dog pose. Either stay in dog pose if you wish. If you want to come forward to a high to low push-up, keep strong through the core as you lower yourself down. Pull forward, come to the top of your feet. If you're doing up dog, lift the belly regardless of Cobra or up dog. Back into dog pose. And if you're still in dog pose, that's fine. Just sit there, press back to your heels, lift the tail, elongate the spine. Take a big breath in. Left leg, so lift it in there as you inhale. Step it all the way through as you exhale. Hold. So you're going to hold that nice long lunge for a while. So feel free to wiggle your feet a little bit further apart. And this thigh, you want to lift that thigh bone up. Dive that thigh bone down, but the same time, we're not just collapsing the hip at this stage. Keep it square. It's kind of like you're turning that back thigh bone so the kneecap faces down. Be strong, even look through. It's a nice deep lunge. We've done a lot of hip flexor stretching already. Should be starting to feel really relaxed. Take an inhale. Exhale, pyramid pose for a hold. So back leg up or front leg back, whichever works for you. Use blocks if you wish to. Come to your fingertips or wherever is comfortable for you. And there's a softening in the knees, so just be aware that if you place your hands on your shin bone, you don't want to be pushing your shin bone backwards and down because you're going to push that knee into a lock. And as I was saying on the other side, the goal for this is to feel a beautiful stretch in the hamstring, the belly, not so much to the back of the knee, and just work your breath. So elongate your spine. Maybe the chin drops, maybe it doesn't. It's entirely your choice. So we've got a standing split coming up, and we're going to do another hamstring stretch, aren't we, on this side? So know that you've got more coming up. There's no need to force. Just let time. You know, one thing that you can really get in a yoga practice is actually patience. You know, all the things that we think we're going to acquire, one of those things can be patience. Press forward into a standing split. Lift the back leg up. You can point or flex the foot. Be as strong as you can. Maybe you want your hands on, or one hand to start with on your ankle. Maybe you want your hands on the floor. So you're getting really strong so that now that left leg is being challenged to hold you in a lengthened position. That's one of the cool things about yoga is that you get strong when the muscles are long. So Ardha Matsyendrasana, so fingers on the floor if you need to, or fingers around your ankle. So you're going to take that airborne leg and swing it all the way around. So you're going to end up with that right knee right beside your little toes. It's like you're doing a pistol squat, yeah? Shimmy yourself so that you've got both sit bones on the ground again. Elongate your spine. Let's always come back to that, lengthen our spine. It's a twist. So we're going to hold on, hand to top knee. Left hand is a prop behind you. Lengthen and rotate. So twisting, think about a spiral staircase, but the spiral gets more intense as it goes up, and that's the rotation element of the spine, yeah? Your lower back has hardly any rotation, so lock the core, be strong. The ribs can rotate a lot more. You've got 45, 50, 60 maybe degrees of rotation. So feel yourself climbing and rotating the ribs rather than lower back. And then the neck has the most rotation, 80 or 90 degrees. So that's the place to challenge your twist. It's actually turning your head, not turning your lower back. However, maybe you don't want to rotate the neck, that's fine as well. So lift up as you twist, always. Exhale, spin to the front. Plant your hands in front of you, rock forward, lift up that right leg nice and high again, and step your feet back to Uttanasana. Maybe this time you have a different variation. You can do a bind by taking your hands behind your back, holding hands with yourself and letting your arms drop forward. And if you've got your chest close to your thighs, maybe you can straighten your legs a little bit, but keep the chest close to the thighs so that there's some support happening. And if you don't want to, you can always have your hands holding onto your elbows. That can be a variation. You can do reverse namaste palms. Like, get creative. You know, if you're going to do someone's class on YouTube more than once, you want to learn how you can do that same class, but with all the little modifications that you want to as you work your way from pose to pose. As you exhale, release your hands, walk your feet together, chair pose again as you inhale. Inhale, lift your arms wherever they want to go. Exhale and sink. So you're getting strong here. It's a really challenging position, chair, because we need to learn how to pull the belly in, at the same time open the chest. And quite often we'll open the chest and then collapse the lower back. So the lower back stays still. The strength required for the upper body is quite marked. Take a breath in, stand tall. Exhale, fold to the floor. Halfway lift as you inhale. Right leg steps back. So the right leg, the right leg, the right leg. Pop the right knee on the ground. Fantastic. So now you're in your half Hanuman, yeah? So wiggle and jiggle, grab your blocks if you need to. Slide that front leg forward, maybe fingertips. Gently elongate and open the front body as you inhale. And notice the sensation. Where are you feeling it? How is your breath going? And then you can start to be aware of the mind and the chatter that's happening in the poses. Do you find that you're more engaged when you're in flow with quick movements? Or do you find that frustrating and you just kind of like feel like you're chasing? Do you prefer it when you're in the moments of stillness? Or do you find that frustrating? Do you get bored? So you can learn a lot about your mind by observing how you respond to the actual yoga practice. Kind of fascinating. And sometimes it's really good to use discipline just to work yourself through the entire class and try and have the discipline to flow or be still and notice what that does and how it impacts on your body. Fold forward for one nice breath. If you want, you don't have to fold. As you breathe in, lift up, step back into your dog pose. How is the body going? So we've done some good release, hip flexors, we've done twists, we've done hamstrings. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, low push up or the floor, it's your choice. Drag yourself through with strength, squeeze your triceps, open the chest, lift your thighs, and exhale, peel yourself back into this big, beautiful dog pose. Amazing work, everyone. From here, take your right leg back in the air, step it to your lunge again. Square the back heel for a warrior, but stay low. And maybe grab a block if you've got one. So we're going to come to side angle again, and this time with the hand on the outside. So it's a really interesting way to push the knee open and rotate your chest away from your knee. So once again, feel free to pop your elbow on your thigh, but if you want more challenge, we've got the hand on the outside this time. Variation for the arms, start with the arm vertical. So reach up, spread your fingers wide and have energy right out through the fingertips. Press the back heel, press the outside edge of the foot. As you inhale, take the arm a little wider, then pivot the thumb, wrap into a bind. So you're either going to bring the fingers and hold on to the back of your shirt, or maybe reach through and grab your thigh. So you're in a little half bind. You can stay here, or if you feel strong and you can keep pushing that floor knee into your right arm, as you inhale, reach that right arm forward without letting the knee collapse. So you're in a very big, beautiful, lengthened side body. Take a big breath in. Deepen as you exhale. Now come up to standing, straighten your front leg, release your arms and go back. Triangle. So triangle pose. Reach forward. So we've got the block. So let's do a triangle with our hand on the block. So you can tip the block all the way up like so, and you're trying to get some strength. So you want to be able to push down through the block. So rather than lean on the block, push the block into the floor. With your front knee, we're trying to turn that front kneecap open and then squeeze the muscles without collapsing the knee. It takes a bit of practice for that one. Underneath waist muscle is long and strong. Do whatever you want with that top arm. Take 3 breaths. So elongate. Spine as long as you inhale. Feet anchor into the floor. It's like you're making a big solid stamp. Like how much of that foot can you feel? Even that front big toe is engaged. You got 1 breath in. As you exhale, pivot your hands toward the floor. Bend your knee. Take your block away if you've had it. On your inhale, look through. As you exhale, low push-up dog pose or the floor, whichever you want. Inhale, cobra. Up dog, whichever you want. Exhale to dog pose again. And then once again, let the neck relax. Lift your tailbone. Elongate your spine. Grip the fingers into the floor. Remember the thumb, second finger. Feel the squeezing of the tricep muscles, a broadening across the back, an elongating of the spine, stretching gently through the calves. Breathe. How does your breath sound? Is it shaky? Is it steady? Left leg on your inhale, lift it up nice and high. Exhale, step that foot all the way through. Stay nice and low. So once again, we're going to take that back heel into a warrior shape position. And You're going to bring the block possibly onto the outside. You're going to push that knee out nice and wide. So you're making that back leg as strong and as anchored as you can. And you feel that beautiful, nice, deep, steady side angle position. Take your top arm this time, just reach it up. Like lift the arm up, push that front knee outward. Yeah, push the knee into your arm. Take a big breath. Start to open the chest and let the arm drop back. But be as strong and as anchored as you can through your legs. With that top arm, you're going to pivot, wrap it, and either hold onto the back of your shirt or bring the fingers through to the front of your thigh. Bend your front knee, be really strong. Open the chest. It's really hard to get that top shoulder through without the knee falling in. So you're kind of having a game there. Shoulder through, knee back. Stay, or if you wish to, draw that front arm, and you can look forward, you can look up, you can look back towards your back shoulder. And so the concept of a drishti gives us an eye focus, gives us something to keep our attention, our concentration. So noticing when you start to daydream or drift, and what is it? What pulls you out of the smooth, controlled breath? Maybe it's work, maybe it's muscle effort. And then exhale, hand down. Untangle, come up to standing as you breathe in, reach. You've got a triangle, so lengthen your spine, reach out through your arms, tip yourself forward. The tailbone goes back, and take your hand down onto the block. Once again, feel free to manipulate the block. Like I'm fairly flexy and I've got myself right up on that high edge so I can work. Watch this bottom shoulder, push down through that shoulder, allows you to get more strength, yeah? So use the block not to force you into position. Yeah, we're not trying to force shape. We're trying to get alignment that's steady and strong and stable. Top arm, make it alive, like you've got a starfish there. That whole concept of 360-degree awareness we're talking about. Like right now, can you feel the entire skin of your body as if you're wearing a glove, yeah? So feel the whole of it, the back of the arms, the front of the arms, the belly, the energy across the upper back. Strength coming through your legs. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Take a breath in, lunge, high to low push-up, dog pose or the floor. You're in charge. Cobra or up dog. How is your body feeling? We're going to go to pose of the child. So bend the knees. Let your tailbone come back and let your forehead rest on the floor. Pose the child is a really nice place to reconnect to your breath. We started in pose of the child. How does it feel now? Do you feel that you've got a more awareness of the body? So step 1 of the yoga practice is really just to get body awareness. Step 2 is to get breath awareness. And step 3 is to become mind aware. It's a really ongoing yet wonderful challenge or experience or journey, whichever word works for you. So we're going to do a few balances and then make our way down to the floor. So to set ourselves for a balance, we're going to start with some core work. So lift yourself up. A nice simple one. So Stuart McGill, who's a famous back researcher, believes there are top 3 exercises for back health, and one of those is the one we're about to do now. So set yourself and be solid across your back. See this? Try not to collapse. You've got a little tiny arch in your lower back, just a little arch, but the belly pulls in. Hips are square. Take your right leg to the back, toes on the floor, squeeze your glutes, lift the leg without changing the arch of your lower back. So when you lift the leg, sometimes there's a tendency to arch. Keep it lifted. At the same time, don't let the hip drop. So belly up, right hip up, back knee faces the floor. Press down through your right arm and float the left thumb to the ceiling. And you're in this beautiful position, opposite arm, opposite leg, 4-point kneeling. It's got quite a few names, this exercise. Pointed dog. But whatever you want to call it, it's so good for shoulder stability as well. So your right elbow is soft. You drive through the floor with your right side. Take a breath. And then exhale, hand down, toes down. When you bring the knee back, see if you can do it without destabilizing yourself. So is your core on? Are you open across the upper back? Little tiny arch in the lower back. That's what we call neutral, that neutral shape we talk about. Then take the left toes back without twisting or manipulating. So keep it steady. Once again, the core is on, and lift that leg just enough that you feel the glutes, but not so much that you lose the alignment of the core. So, if you're not very flexible in hip flexors, you may not get horizontal with that leg. That's fine, yeah? Then this time, push strongly through the left arm, reach the right arm thumb to the ceiling and hold. So you really keep strong through the belly. There's many variations of this one with the arm moving around and in and out, but at the moment we're doing it for static core strength, yeah? So when you bring the knee to the chest and the elbow in, etc., the back moves, so it's not static core. And so it's a really good place to start static core strength. As you exhale, hand down, knee down. So we've just switched the core on a little bit just for a couple of balances. So lift yourself up, walk your feet to your hands. Have one nice little move around there like play. And then in your own time, you'll bring your feet together and either squat with a straight spine to standing, or if you like to roll. I'm a fan of a straight spine to standing. So I'll face you for our balances, just a couple of balances. We're going to start with our right leg on the ground, tree pose, a nice simple one. So the hips are square, lift the leg. So we always start with your feet together for tree. Lift the leg up. And if you feel steady there, feel free to grab a hold of the foot, bring it on the inside of the thigh. If you're wobbling like crazy, maybe stay there. And if you can't balance, you can always have your toes on the ground. But with your tree, we want to have the belly button facing forward. Yeah, then open the chest. So it's not about moving the knees so the whole body moves, yeah? You want to keep your hips squared to the front and just let that knee go out as best it can. There are heaps of hand positions. Arms up can be a little challenging. Eye gaze can be straight ahead. And at the same time as pushing your foot into your thigh, you're pushing your thigh into your foot. And I like to have my eyes on the horizon for balance. If you're quite wobbly, you might like to start by having your eyes on the ground in front of you. Some people like that. Our second little balance today, grab a strap if you want to do a full dancer's pose. Otherwise, we're just going to bring that heel behind us. And you can take that arm up. You can take the hands behind. You can draw your shoulders back. You can loop it around. You can come into a dancer's pose. It's entirely your choice. Once again, eye gaze on the horizon. Drive down to your standing leg. Don't let that hip drop. So you're pushing the right hip up. So you're getting really strong on that side of your thigh. And then if you can, with control, release and place that foot down. Take a breath in, reach up. Exhale fully, and we'll bring ourselves to the other side. So lift up through the front body, have your feet together, and lift your left leg in the air. When you lift the left leg in the air, remember to stay tall. This is where you have the choice to either hold it there or to come into any variation of tree. So you're going to press your foot onto the inside of your thigh and grow your spine really long. And we will talk on the other side about keeping the pelvis square, belly button facing forward. So to get the knee out, you squeeze your glutes rather than rotate the whole body. So pelvis is still, trunk is still, and the movement is the thigh bone, like you're swinging a hinged door. You can have your hands down, or you can reach up if you'd like to. You can do the same thing you did on the other side, or you can choose something different. So you've got energy down through the floor and energy up through the crown of your head. So think about being long and the center of your body strong. So imagine a big belt wrapped around the middle of your body, pulling you in, and push down through that standing leg. So we float this one into the second balance if you want, and if you need to put your foot down in between, that's fine. Otherwise, as you exhale, gently release your hands. Bring that knee through the center, trying to keep the hips level, and take that foot behind. So once again, if you want a strap to come into a dancer's pose, feel free. You can take the arm in the air if you wish. You can take that knee just beside the floor knee if you want to. You can tip forward. I'm just going to do it standing. And we find that drishti, that gaze point, eyes on the horizon, is more challenging on your balance, but probably better for your posture. Eyes on the ground, more useful if you're wobbling, but at the same time, you'll lose your neck alignment. So just a couple more breaths there, being steady and strong. The standing leg anchored, the crown of the head lifted. And then as you release, try and bring yourself with steadiness like you did on the other side. Bring your feet to the floor. So now we're going to take ourselves into a wide leg straddle. Prasarita, Paratanasana. Take your feet out, have your feet on train lines, so toes facing forward, or even in just a little bit if you want to. Hands on your hips and open the chest as you press the hips back. Walk your hands down your thighs, blocks if you want to, or place your hands on your fingertips. As you inhale, lengthen your spine like a little halfway lift. As you exhale, hinge at the hip joint and fold yourself down. Variations of your hands. You can have your hands in front. You can have your hands on the outside of your feet, on your ankles, on your big toes. You can hold around the lower calf and ankle and gently pull your elbows down towards your shin bones. Elongate your spine and gently pull yourself down with a nice long spine. And then very gently release yourself from there. We're going to bring ourselves to the mat, so maybe just bring yourself into a seated supta. Not supta rather, but just Badakanasana. So Badakanasana, the feet are together and you're pressing the knees down to the floor. There's heaps of ways to do this one. You can press one hand on one knee. You can bring your hands onto your feet. You can take both hands onto your knees. And we're trying to have this long spine. So there's a few variations in the Ashtanga model. We've got various places and different ways to bend, so we can fold forward with a long spine. There's also the option of folding forward with a rounded spine, and so you play with that, being aware that the rounded spine for some people can be a little more stressful on the back. However, of course, backs are designed to move, so just take one of those variations that you want. I sometimes like to press my elbows into my calves to press my knees out a little bit. I like to have an elongated spine to start with. We've got 3 breaths here, so just do what feels good for your body. We're going to work our way into Upavisthakonasana, or a wide leg straddle as well. And so this can be a bit of a preparation for that. So one more breath in and one more breath out. Gently ease yourself up. So Upavisthakonasana, so wide leg straddle. So take your feet out wide, and if you're the kind of person that sits back like this, blocks can be really useful, and I'll sit up on a block and I'll show you. So when you sit up on a block, your heels are lower than your hips, and by having your heels lower than your hips, it just means you've got more capacity to move through the pelvis, yeah? So if you're sitting on a block, sit on one. Otherwise you can sit on a rolled up towel or a blanket or something, even a pillow, and then work your legs out wide. Same thing. So, tipping forward in this position is such a challenge. It's just so hard. Just get rid of this microphone for a moment. So I've got ability to manipulate my pelvis. You can see what I'm doing here is I'm literally rolling the pelvis. And for many of us, when we come forward, the pelvis is locked and we come forward like this, yeah? So that's not really effective. So it takes a long time, but see if you can figure out how to move the pelvis so that when I'm tipping forward, my spine isn't changing shape, so it's staying nice and long. Feel free to have your hands out in front of you. Feel free to have your hands back on your legs. Feel free to have your hands behind you. You can sit up. Maybe you're more of the bendy type, so feel free to come forward. You can take your hands out to the sides as well if you want to. You have your hands inside. I'm going to do this variation. And just feel that beautiful stretch in the inner thighs. So take a deep breath in, and I'm trying to elongate my spine the whole time, yeah? So I can also reach my hands all the way forward, and that's quite a deep stretch for many people. But I'm still engaged. I'm not collapsing here. I've got some energy in my legs. My heels are pressing into the ground. I'm elongating my spine, and I'm keeping that breath steady. Take 3 more breaths in this position. Where do you feel? Can you let yourself soften just a little bit more, using the breath to create that softening? And then gently press yourself back up. How's your body feeling? Bring your legs together in whichever way works for you. And we're going to bring ourselves now into our back. So move your blocks out of the way if you've had them. Have your feet flat on the floor in front of you. Engage your core and slowly roll yourself back down, bone by bone by bone by bone by bone. How are you feeling down here? So press your feet flat and wide. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your hips. You're in a beautiful bridge. So bridge, unless you're unwell or needing to modify, I really think bridge should be a working position. So there's variations where you support yourself, but really at the end of the day, I think most of us need strength of our glutes. So it's good to work your bridge. You can have your hands on the floor. You can hold hands and squeeze the shoulder blades together, sort of like we did in the very beginning. And of course, if you want to go straight to a wheel pose, you can. Otherwise, press through the feet, squeeze the glutes, open the chest. So can you even now be strong and comfortable at the same time? So not too much pressure on the neck or the head. You're sitting on the shoulders, you're sitting on the feet, and you're holding, or rather you're being held up by the strength of all the muscles that run down the back side of the body. And then gently release your hands. Can you roll your spine back down? So instead of just falling down, articulate, which means to move each bone individually. So gently place one spine bone down. Create a rolling action through the spine, bone by bone by bone by bone by bone. Supta Badakanasana. So we did this one in seated. So this is a nice little recovery. Press your feet together. Place your hands on your belly and see if you can relax. So close your eyes. And if you are relaxed, when you inhale, you'll feel the belly rise. When you exhale, the belly will fall away. So of course you're not breathing into your belly, but when the diaphragm contracts and pulls down on the inhale, the belly has to go somewhere. So it rises up to the ceiling to create space. If you're tense and stressed though, you'll find it hard to do that. So another really awesome part of our yoga practice is learning how to breathe to de-stress. So minimal muscle tension when you're breathing will mean that you're least stressed. So we have another bridge or wheel coming up. So if you're doing bridge, once again, feet flat on the floor, knees are bent, squeeze your glutes and lift. If you're doing wheel, feel free to place your hands behind you. I'm not a fan of sitting on the head, hey. I think you need to be strong. So you want to be able to be strong enough to actually do a tricep movement. So you literally press yourself up. Squeeze your glutes, relax your neck, and the sense of being strong through your arms is really important here. And remember, each shape we're in should be comfortable. So right now, I should be able to talk easily, breathe easily, and that's an interesting process for you to be aware of. Do you feel that every position you've got enough control, that your breath is relaxed? And so you could chat. Take 3 more breaths. Being strong if you're in your bridge, squeeze your glutes, push through your feet. If you're in your wheel, you want to push out through the elbows, so get the triceps engaged. As you exhale, slowly come down. So if you're in the wheel, really control the position. So you're using the triceps again. And then you end up in bridge and everyone rolls back down together, bone by bone by bone by bone. Cross your right leg over your left leg this time. You're coming into a reclining pigeon pose or figure 4. Take your hands around the back of the left leg and gently pull your knees to your chest. So a little bit of flexion in the toes. We know it gives a bit more mindfulness of muscle engagement. However, if you would like to, you can wrap your right elbow around your right knee and your left elbow around your right foot. You can stretch that leg out on the ground. This is another nice variation as well. If that feels comfy, you can also just use your hand and pop your head back down on the ground. You can rock a little bit. This is a fantastic one for the glutes. Remember, you've got 9 glute muscles just in one side. You're going to bring yourself into the last few stretches of your class right now. So start to explore moving that leg across to where you get the best glute stretch for you. For me, I like to take my knee instead of in line with the same side armpit, but I like to move it slightly across, almost in line with the breastbone. So I'm not twisting my chest, I'm just drawing my knee across. I find that gives me the best sensation. So feel free to play, as I was saying at the beginning, modify, progress, regress, and then gently release. Change legs. So figure 4, left one crosses over right. Lift your legs in the air. Hold on to the back of the thigh. A little bit of engagement with your toes for muscle effort. Stay like that if you want. Explore. Option, bring your right elbow around your left foot and your left elbow around your left knee and extend that leg away. So a little bit deeper of a stretch for you. And of course, if you wish, hold on to the foot, hold on to the knee, and let your head rest on the ground. Of course, you can put the foot behind your head. There's all kinds of things that you can do here. I hope by now you're starting to feel good and you're ready to do one last beautiful final twist. So play with that. I'm taking my knee slightly across my body. Letting the breath be smooth. And hopefully you really appreciate that work that you've done. So good for your body to move and to breathe. And yoga practice is excellent for so many different reasons. Of course, just moving your body without any equipment, so you really get to know your body. You're not distracted by maybe lifting a weight or something else. It's just you and your body figuring out how it moves. And then very gently release that leg. Have your feet back in Supta Badakanasana again. Just before we come to our last twist, let the knees drop wide, hands on your belly again. And once again, notice, close your eyes, make yourself comfortable. Does your belly rise on the inhale? Do you feel happy about being still? Have you done enough movement? If you're restless, always do more. And I'm going to come to our last position, which will be a lying twist. So we're going to bring the right knee to the chest, extend the left leg. Give a shuffle as you move yourself so you're right on the side edge of your body. You're going to let that right knee drop across. There's many, many variations. You can work the knee down or the shoulder down. You can stay in a more lifted position with the hips square, or you can let yourself go a little bit further across. As long as you're not getting any stress in the back. Be anchored through your floor leg at the same time. Eye gaze and head position wherever you feel comfortable. But just take 3 breaths. You're working your way into your last part of the class. So you've released your calves in dog pose and your hip flexors in the lunge. We've focused on the hamstrings, in our pyramid pose, with our half splits pose, standing splits. You've twisted. You twisted on the floor. You twisted up high. You did a seated twist, and now we're doing our last twist. Roll back through the center. You've opened the front body with your up dog and strengthened your back body with the up dog. You've worked and challenged your arms. So as you work your way into your last twist, just know that you've done a lot of movement and targeted a lot of different positions. You've done wide leg straddles. You've done balancing. You've released your glutes, your side body, your chest, your shoulders. So take 2 or 3 more breaths. And you're going to bring yourself into your Shavasana. So feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you in Shavasana for about 2 minutes, and I'll bring you out of Shavasana by using the chimes, which is such a beautiful sound. So either lie on the ground and really wiggle and jiggle and find some alignment until you can be still, or possibly you might like to sit and just sit for 2 minutes. So if you're sitting, maybe sit on a block or sit still. Maybe close your eyes. And just know that the Shavasana and the sitting still is good for your nervous system. If you have trouble sitting still, maybe focus on your breath. But there will be silence for at least the next minute. When I hear the chimes, feel free to bring yourself out of your stillness. Take a nice deep breath. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Bring a sense of movement back into your body. And feel free to do whatever you'd need to do to make yourself feel good. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe, make comments underneath, contact me if you need to. Namaste.